man and a woman. Why does it do that? Because it is pro-people. It's not anti-people, it's pro-people. And so what I said to her is this, and I would say to you the same thing. The Bible restricts sexual expression to one man and one woman within the bonds of marriage for a reason. I said, you, young lady, are beautifully made in God's image. No matter what you think, say, believe, act, or do. You are made beautifully in his image, and that makes you sacred. You are not incidental, you are purposeful, and you are sacred in that fact. And I, as another person who is no better and no worse than you, have no right whatsoever to look at you as less than me. No right whatsoever, especially as a Christian who is saved from my own sin. How can I say you're more of a sinner than me? So there we have that part. She's sacred. I said to her, because you're a sacred product, the process that brought you about is itself sacred. And the process that brought you about was sexuality. And so sex has to be sacred. And if sex is sacred, then it can't become commonplace, whatever you feel like that day. Or even a strong predilection, if it's a strong romantic attachment. It cannot be whatever you want. It's got to be bounded by something very, very powerful and very, very real to secure its sacredness. But why are you sacredly made in God's image, and why is sex sacred? Because it allows us one more thing, not just the sacredness of our being, but it allows us to reflect the divine. Men and women are obviously biologically different, and we are emotionally different as well. If you don't believe me, just get married. And you'll find that out pretty quick. But there's a beauty to that. There's a complementarity to our differences, both our biological and our emotional and our psychological and our spiritual differences. These are beautiful weaving together of a mosaic that is marriage. And the reason why it's beautiful is because a unity of diversity happens. When Adam and Eve are together, the Bible says that for this reason a man and a woman shall leave, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. You know what that word one is in Hebrew? It's echad. You know what echad means? It means unity. It doesn't mean one numerically, it means a unification of diversities. And so marriage is the unification of diversities. It's a unity of diversities, and God himself is a unity of diversities. Marriage gives you the privilege of reflecting the divine. But there's more. Is that there's an ultimate marriage. You know, people say, what happens at the end of the world? A judgment. Judgment comes. Yes, that's true. But you know what happens at the end of the judgment? A wedding. A unity of diversities once again. The very impure, but now cleaned up, the very temporal, but now forever living bride of Christ is wed to the ever-existing, always righteous, totally merciful, eternally loving God, a unity of diversities. Marriage is meant to give you that, and anything that takes that away from you deprives you of something, not God. The reason why it's an abomination is because it hurts all of us. It hurts you. And takes that something away from you. And here's the thing. The reason why this is the case is because marriage between a man and a woman unites two beings who are beautifully and sacredly made differently. The Bible says, in the beginning, God created them, male and female. He created them in his image. He created them. Why go to such lengths to say he created them, male and female? Because a male exhibits God's image in his maleness, and a female exhibits God's image in her femaleness. And if I have a relationship with someone who's not like me, I get to reflect that diversity. And if I swap this person out and put someone who's just like me, I rob myself of that. Why would I do that? And I know there's struggles, and I don't want to downplay this. This is a real thing. This is not a fake thing. They're not going through a phase. I have colleagues, Sam Alberry, who you all should take a listen to, is same-sex attracted, but he submits this to Christ, and he is my hero because he doesn't submit momentary temptations to Christ. He submits a persistent attraction to Christ every single day, and he is a leader in the church. He is one of the best speakers I've ever heard in my life. The question isn't what the Bible says, it's why it says it. And I told this young lady, it says it to protect you and to protect me because you are beautifully made in his image. Crying her eyes out, and we prayed together.